Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. Yeah, sad news to report today: the death of a baseball legend, Hammer and Hank Aaron, who passed away at age 86. Yeah, this is sad, man. Hank Aaron was one of the greatest baseball players of all time, most known for breaking Babe Ruth's home run record um, in the 1970s. He started off his career as a member of as a part of the Negro Leagues. As many people know, in baseball was segregated, and there was a league for African American baseball players and a league for white baseball players up until um, the mid 50s. So he started off with the Indianapolis Clowns, and later on in the latter part of the 50s, he transitioned to the Milwaukee Brewers, which eventually became um, the Atlanta Braves. Yeah, he was the original Hammer, and during this time in the 50s, when he first started out, there was still a lot of prejudice. There was still a lot of racism, and when he went to um, in the 70s to break Babe Ruth's home run record, he received a lot of death threats from um, white baseball fans who felt that Babe Ruth's home run record was sacred and should never be broken, especially by a black man. And people would try to actually kill him for something baseball related. This was really fucked up. That people would this was a sacred cow that a lot of white baseball fans had, and they felt like um, they didn't want it broken. Like I said, least of all by a black man. MC Hammer, the rapper, actually gets his name from Hank Aaron, who was called the Hammer during his baseball career. Um, MC Hammer would be dancing outside of these baseball games, and somebody remarked, "Hey, you kind of look like Hank Aaron," so he became Hammer. Um, Later on, he got a job working at Turner Broadcasting, and many wrestling fans will recall a tenuous link to wrestling. Um, when Hank Aaron was working at the at Turner, he came across the Wade Keller interview that Bill Watts had done it, which Bill Watts um, supported Mississippi segregationalist. Bill Watts basically said in this interview with Wade Keller for the Pro Wrestling Torch that you know Southern governors like Bull Connor had the right to discriminate against um, against black people, and when this came down to Hank Aaron, who was the head of Turner Sports at the time, he immediately positioned to have Bill Watts fired. And it was Eric Bischoff who took Watts' position and later took WCW to the success that it took him. So indirectly, Hank Aaron was responsible for uh, the success that WCW, which was owned by Atlanta mogul Ted Turner, indirectly, Hank Aaron was responsible for their success because of what he, what he later told um, the Turner executives. Because Hank Aaron was so sensitive to this kind of thing, because of because of what he had endured. Um, when he was breaking Babe Ruth's records, he had endured a lot of racism. So he was not gonna when he became head of Turner Sports, um, in that department, he was not going to put up with that kind of thing within WCW. So when he got wind of it, when we got wind of Watts' support for segregationist and Watts' racist comments towards African Americans and towards gay people and towards Jews, it immediately had Watts fired. And Hank was a frequenter at a lot of WCW events during the time he was head of Turner Sports. And he was one of the higher ups. He was seen at a lot of WCW events. Bash at the Beach 1994, he was there, which was up to that point was the biggest event WCW ever had. That was the night that the Hulk Hogan first wrestled Ric Flair. It was the match WWE never did when Ric Flair was working for them. But as soon as WCW got Hulk Hogan, they did the match right away, and Hank Aaron was there, and he was there for the rematch in Detroit, along with Muhammad Ali. So two big sports legends that stood up for racial injustice. That they were bigger than sports. What they stood for was bigger than sports itself. You know, it had a bigger impact. But R.I.P. to Hank Aaron, number 44. What he did would never be changed or never be challenged. There may be other better baseball players, but his social impact, his impact upon society, and his push for racial equality in the arena of sports will never be forgotten. R.I.P. Hammer and Hank. Peace. And don't forget to like and subscribe.